So welcome back to part 2 of the most insane car build that I've ever done, and one of the most insane builds I've ever even thought of, heard of, or even found out about. Right now, yeah, sitting on top of a Lambo engine because we've got our buddy over here scanning our car. So let me just jump down over here and show you what we're doing. All right, so does everybody understand the process of creating something from scratch, right? Think about what we have to do in order to take an Alfa Romeo 4C and put this in the back of it. It sounds pretty insane, right? Walk over here for a second, and I saved this part of the car so that we really could understand and grasp what Igor has to build. Now, look at this, okay? I'm just gonna step on it to hold it. Igor has to build this right here from scratch. So how the hell could somebody do that without like massive machines and just insane technology? Well, they can't. They need that stuff. Unless you're like some ultra crazy genius, I don't really know. But essentially what I'm trying to get to the point is there's a reason why 3D scanning and 3D imaging exists, so that he can scan every single point right here. So all these points that line up, if you look down here, all that stuff that lines up, he's gonna scan every one of these points and create basically a platform for Igor to design his chassis on top of this existing mounting system so that we can reuse the monocog that came from the Alfa Romeo 4C. And up here, even more important, to scan all the stuff that we're gonna keep. Now, we're not keeping the engine harness or some of these other things, but like, you know, the radiator and all that other stuff, it's probably gonna stay in the same place, right? Because Alfa Romeo already engineered a really interesting system for the way that the body parts mount. So we wanna keep what we can because, well, they're already tested, engineered, saves us time and it saves us money. So, you know, the rack and pinion and all the suspension geometry will likely change because we're going to widen the car. But other than that, everything else here is going to be pretty straightforward. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's really what we're doing here. So I want to show you guys what we're scanning and how we're scanning it, what machine we're scanning it with, so you guys can kind of see the amount of work that goes into this system. So right now they're unloading the table that this car is going to sit on while Igor welds and does his entire rear chassis work. So if you want to go take a look at that, that's pretty interesting. So that's a chassis table. The car basically gets mounted to that table. It's 3,000 pounds. It's literally a perfect, solid piece of metal that is completely flat, so that everything is basically right there out in the open. You can see how hard it is for them to just get it off the trailer. They used the forklift to get it on the trailer, and now they're going to be super creative in getting it off. So Mario's going to film a lot more of the scanning and editing of what we're doing now, so you guys enjoy that, watch that, and I'm going to be back here with every single update that I can while he's welding, while we're building, designing, and obviously designing the bodywork too. So you're gonna see every step of the way. So look forward to the next vlogs because I can't be more excited about this project. I'm spending my own money on this project that is my own engineering, my own time, my own everything. So this is really important for me to complete this the right way. So, we're good, man. That's it. Step 1, kind of, right? We're like on step 4 or 5.
Step 2.
No, I think it's like 4 or 5.
This is part 2.
This is part 2, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, basically it's step 1 of part 2, but we're really in like step 5 because we bought a brand new car. We took the brand new car apart. We took the Lambo engine out of the Lambo, right? Then we delivered it down to here, right? And then now they're scanning it to get the chassis made. So I think really you could call 4 or 5, right? But I think we're on 5. So what do you think?
Yeah, we've made some progress.
Pretty surprised. So we have a deadline. Today is July 13th. We have a deadline of October 15th is 90 days away because I want to display this car at SEMA. So Igor is definitely going to be done with his part. I've designed the car as efficiently as I can. The design is starting to look amazing. Got the Brixton wheels making us custom wheels so far. Haven't locked them in yet, but they're doing a good job. Doing pretty good.
Yeah. So
I also got this. I got this iPad case.
Oh, sick.
So,
That's
well, okay, hold on. Let me give you the backstory on this. All right. The reason why I have to
sure
get
that's an iPad case.
this
or
is
a
an iPad
bulletproof
case. Is for sure bulletproof. It's like solid aluminum. But the reason why I had to get this, okay, this was designed for people to use iPads in like Polaris Razors or outdoor Maverick vehicles where they put their iPad and they mount it and then they're like trying to use it, but then it overheats because they're outside, right? So this was designed to solve that problem. But I got this problem for Atwood because he's always at the link in his kiosk. He's like, my iPad's overheating. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I got it in this thermo-cooling case from Cool Cat Industries, which is one of Igor's friends. That's how I found out about it. But look at this thing. I've got it's literally a thermo-cooling copper pad right here. Okay, you have to hook this up to a good battery source, right? Which is just any battery, but you know, like a 12-volt outlet, we can plug it in here. But you've got 2 sick fans on it. It fits an iPad, I think regular. They think it had different sizes, anyways. But Atwood's never, ever, ever gonna have an overheated iPad again.
Got him.
So now I get to go back to the link. So, what's this?
Oh yeah.
This is your lottery
Those are my
ticket?
winning numbers. Don't show them the recipe, bro.
Oh,
That's the
winning
secret
numbers
sauce.
for
That's the secret sauce right
wait,
there.
what day is it today? Today's
Tomorrow.
Today's Friday. Yeah, so Saturday
So,
lottery. Winning numbers.
I bought 2 lottos, and with $4, and this is Houston's.
Just I got 150 picks right here.
Yeah.
So, because I believe that winning is basically it's a statistical game, right? If you have all the combinations, you're bound to win, right? Or you can just be really lucky like Mario and pick 5 random numbers and win. But I've got 150 tickets with 150 different combinations of numbers. So, you know, there's like a couple million combinations, but 150 is better than 2.
True.
So, you know,
I
trying
still
to
feel more lucky than you though, so.
All right, well, today's over. I'm pretty excited for today to be over. You know, every time I go to California, I really don't like being here because it's just very aggravating to drive in California. But I wanted to touch on something. Just want to remind everybody that we're building a hypercar. This is going to take some time, some energy, some serious patience. So bear with us and enjoy the process of learning and feeling the new, right, emotion that we're building and bringing out through another car that's just one-off. So enjoy every update that we give you, and we're hopefully to leave here in about 5 minutes and get out of here on time today. So Jet Suite X for the win on the way home. Cross your fingers. Guys, in what was the scariest, most ridiculous Jet Suite X flight that me and Mario have ever been on, we've touched the ground and we've made it. That's a loaner plane from some like 1960s, 1970s aircraft. You're about to see some crazy ass blue leather that was destroyed carpet. It was disgusting. Anyways, very scary. Me and Mario definitely thought we were going down almost the whole trip. Why are we back in California? Well, we spoke with Igor and he requested a few parts off of my Gallardo to further the RAGNAROK build, and I'm calling it tentatively the RAGNAROK because we've got a trademark pending. So in 3 videos that name might change, but right now that's what it's called. So we've got a front, a rear, some hubs, drive shafts, and the 6-speed shifter mechanism, all from one of my Gallardos. So we're about to play Russian roulette like we always do with Go Rentals and see what we can get. All right, yeah, Mario's got that for safekeeping because he wanted to throw it in these bags and just play it by ear. Anyways, let's see what we got for a rental car. All right.
Hey bro, do you need help?
Yeah, holy shit. All right, as usual, we're playing Russian roulette with Go Rentals. And if none of you know, or some of you don't know what this is, what happens when I fly into Burbank is I never make a reservation for a car, and I always just cross my fingers that we get something nice. Today, the options for us are amazing Toyota Corolla, okay? Hoping that one we don't have to take, all right? This one was rented, this one was rented. We have an S450, which is the V6 version of the S63, or we've got the Smurf Blue Monster. If anybody guessed, Smurf Blue Monster is what I took. So, we're jumping in, about to drive an hour. I don't even know where we're going. I can't even say it. It's by Calabasas. We're headed out. As we sit in wonderful Los Angeles traffic, let's have a conversation about the name I'm choosing for this car. As in the airport, I mentioned the name RAGNAROK. Now, we've been working on getting an automotive trademark for the word Ragnarok. And for anybody that doesn't know, Ragnarok is a synonym for apocalypse, right? So in my mindset, basically, I'm building a 1,500 horsepower car that weighs about 2,500 pounds. So anything that tries to race it will experience an apocalypse, essentially, right? Because it's going to be, I mean, it would be so fast. I mean, think about a very similar, it's not a similar car, but a similar approach, right? John Hennessy built the Venom GT, became the world's fastest car for almost ever until Koenigsegg did 277 miles an hour, which was, if I remember correctly, Hennessy did 260 something. Mario, do you know?
No idea.
Okay, well, we're gonna look that up. But anyways, I'm pretty sure Hennessy did like in the mid 260s with a Lotus with a Corvette motor strapped to the back of it, and he charged 1.2 million for that. I love that car. It's one of my favorite looking cars. I wish I could just go out and buy one of those, but unfortunately, $1.2 million for a Lotus is just, I'm not a billionaire. I mean, you just can't spend that kind of money. They did 270 miles an hour. So Koenigsegg beat them by 7 miles an hour. So this is a modified car that weighed about 2,500 pounds and had about 1,500 horsepower, right? But they used a Corvette engine, and there's a little tweaks and torques that they might have had to do to make that happen. But I'm using a carbon fiber monocoque with a Gallardo engine. So it's a Lamborghini V10. So I'm pretty sure Ragnarok is the perfect name for this car. So first iterations of what Igor is going to build here for basically the entire frame structure that holds the engine and transmission in, and the whole overall strength of the car. So you can see what he's doing right there. He's going to explain kind of his plan. This is obviously the first set of frame rails that we're putting in, but go ahead and explain what you got going on.
So yeah, basically we have the whole scan of the car, the engine, kind of mocked in there, placed in there, how it's going to lay out, and we're picking up the back bulkhead points of the Alfa, doing some plate work, but the majority of the rails, frame rails, are going to be plate just to add strength, rigidity to the whole chassis, and then we'll run some cross member tube stringers, incorporate all the control arms, and and add some extra roll bar bracing.
And so turn it a little bit upside down so they can see kind of. Basically right here you have the mount for the engine right there, right? And then over here you have the transmission mount. So those are where the axles go into place, and that's what we brought here today so he can get all the
proper dimensions and everything.
Exactly. So all this stuff is going to look really beautiful as well as be functional. If you've seen some of the other really high performance hypercar builds, a lot of them use tube chassis and stuff. So it looks cool, but I mean, I think the way that we're designing this one is going to look a lot like more professional, more cleaner. And because the back half is going to obviously pop off because you're going to want to see the engine bay in the car. So we're just designing this for beauty as well as obviously strength. So I'm excited for the way this is going. We'll show you a little bit outside with the car. I've got to bring a couple more parts inside, and so we can get back to work. We're getting a lot closer to what I'm designing in my head. It's coming to more of a fruition. So this is the 6-speed part out of a Gallardo. So obviously I don't have it all bolted in, but you can see that this is gonna make these like clicking sounds when we shift. It's gonna sit right here. This center console with the e-brake's gonna come out. I'm probably gonna keep these seats, maybe just change the Alfa Romeo on the top. But new steering wheel, maybe a nice screen or something right here. Keeping the AC, but obviously, dude, look at this exposed carbon. The room I have in this compared to the Alfa, or sorry, from the Alfa compared to the Lotus is just, it's immense. I think it measured about 6.5 inches. Now 6.5 inches of width is kind of a lot when you're sitting side by side with someone else. So pretty stoked. So this is going in. We're gonna make a custom, like really dope center console, and very comfy. So come out to the back.
It's console.
Console?
Not
Sorry.
council.
Console? I don't know. You know, don't hate me and don't flame me for my like idiocy with grammar.
But if I correct
right?
you, then no one would do it in the like comments.
That makes sense, right? Oh, by the way, I found out where we are. We're in Camarillo. Camarillo. Okay.
Not Carmelo.
I thought we were in Carmelo. No, that's like somewhere else.
You know Carmelo just made 25.5 million in 5 days.
Like a person?
Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, he's good. He's good at his job. All right. Anyways, turbo kit's gonna get designed. Turbos are gonna sit here. You saw some of the framework that Igor was designing with our mounting points. So we talked about turbos sitting here. The intake for the turbo coming out to here. I've got these huge scoops coming down this way. So that's gonna go that way. And then we've got the cold air coming into the turbo, the spooled air going into the intercoolers here. Intercoolers cooling water to air, boom, right into the engine. And the hot side, so this is the catalytic converter, pretend it's the turbo, right? The hot side going straight out the back of that open, beautiful, Chiron-inspired rear end. It can't be better than the design because it's mixing some of the most amazing hypercar design traits, kind of not into one, because that's like copying, but it's all called an inspiration, right? Because these huge scoops, open rear end, flat nose, open inside hood scoops and stuff, all that is already used on other cars and other models, and almost every trait has been used before, but we're designing something unique, special, fast, rigid, strong, like just a whole bunch of different, great words to put to it. But I'm excited, man. I just can't believe. This is the 2nd of August. Now, you're probably going to see this video in September or something like that, because I don't want to put one video out a month, right? I want to kind of build them up and then put them out every week so you guys can follow the process closely and remember what happened. I'm shooting to have this done for SEMA. So hopefully by the SEMA show 2018, we're going to be displaying this car. If the body work is not done, I'm still going to display it because the technical work in the back from the welding is going to be a masterpiece. So we're definitely putting it on display. If it doesn't look 100%, it'll be in our showroom. If it looks 110%, well, it's going to be front and center display out there at the SEMA show in Vegas. I'm going to put it outside for everybody to see, not just car guys inside. So everybody watching, look out. SEMA 2018, 99% sure this is going to be on display. We'll see you guys.